HQ presents The Belfast Girl on Galway Bay by Doughty. Read by Aoife Mcmahon. Chapter 1. September 1960. As the 10 o'clock bus to Lisdoonvarna throbbed its way northwards, my spirits rose so sharply I found it almost impossible to sit still. Brilliant lights spilled across the rich green fields, whitewashed cottages dazzled against the brilliant sky, and whenever we stopped, people in Sunday clothes climbed up the steep steps, greeted the driver by name, and settled down to chat with the other passengers. How incredibly different my train journey from Dublin to Limerick. Under the overcast sky of a rain-sodden evening, we steamed westwards, stopping at innumerable shabby stations with hardly a soul in sight. I caught glimpses of straggling villages and empty, twisting lanes, weaving their way between deserted fields. The further we went, the more I felt the heart of Ireland a lonely place. It was so full of a sad desolation that I longed for the familiar busy streets of the red brick city I had left 200 miles away. Through the dirt-streaked windows of the rattling bus, I took in every detail of a landscape that delighted me. Flourishing fuchsia hedges, bright with red tassels, leaned over tumbled stone walls. Cats dozed on sunny windowsills. A dog lay asleep in the middle of the road, so that the bus driver had to sound his horn, slow down, and wait until he moved. In the untidy farmyards, littered with bits of old machinery, empty barrels and bales of straw, hens scratched in the dust, clucking to themselves, while beyond, in the long lush grass of the large fields, cattle grazed. They looked as if they came straight out of the box which held the model farm I played with at primary school. Some hillsides were decorated with sheep, scattered like polka dots on a billowing skirt. There were stretches of bog, seamed with stony paths. The new late summer grass splashed a vivid green against the dark, regular peat stacks and the purple swathes of heather. I imagined myself making a film to show to my family on a long winter's evening, but this country had been excluded from their list. An unapproved country, like an unapproved road, I thought suddenly as we stopped in Ennistimon, in a wide street full of small shops liberally interspersed with public houses. An hour later, in the square in Lisdoonvarna, it was my turn to weave my way through the crowd of people waiting to meet the bus. A short distance beyond the rusting vans, the ancient taxi, and the ponies and traps by the bus stop, abandoned rather than parked, I spotted a row of summer seats under the windows of a large hotel. They were all unoccupied, so I went and sat down. It was such a relief to have a seat that didn't shake and vibrate every time the driver changed gear. It was now after 1 o'clock. As I watched, the bus disappeared in a cloud of fumes, followed at intervals by the other vehicles. In a few moments the square was completely deserted. I looked around me. Directly opposite was a war memorial set within a solidly built stone enclosure. The walls were hooped with railings and pierced with silver-painted gates hung between solid pillars. Each sturdy pillar was capped by a large flat flagstone, white with bird droppings. Within the enclosure, grass grew untidily around young trees and shrubs already touched with the tints of autumn. Dockins pushed their rusty spikes through the locked gates and dropped their seeds among the sweet papers and ice cream wrappers drifted against the wall. Except for the clatter of cutlery in the hotel behind me and the running commentary of the sparrows bathing in the dust nearby, all was quiet. Nothing moved except a worn-looking ginger dog of no specific breed. He trotted purposefully across the red and cream frontage of the Greyhound bar, lifted his leg against a stand of beach balls outside the shop next door, and disappeared into the open doorway of a house with large staring sash windows. A faded notice propped against an enormous dark-leaved plant in the downstairs window said, "Bed and breakfast." What do I do now? I asked myself. Just at that moment, the ancient taxi I'd seen collecting passengers from the bus came back into the square. To my surprise, the driver went round the completely deserted space twice before stopping his vehicle almost in front of me. He got out awkwardly, a tall, angular man in a battered soft hat, looked
Sample complete. Ready to continue?